You are now tuned in to the Truth Frequency Pod.
Good day, wonderful people. Welcome to Truth Frequency Pod, a platform where you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Today you're with your host, Ntobelo Shengonyama, together with Duncan Anelongwenya and the man of the man, Mr. Collins.
Yo, welcome guys.
Yeah, so we're still on the very same topic that we are on. This is just part B of pornography. So, one of the questions that we do ask is that what role does social media play when it comes to like pornography in itself, the influence that it has? Which platform, for yourself, you feel like that one is the one that sometimes influences you to do those kind of things? Mr. Collins, on your part, which one do you think is the one that, this one is the big influence of all the platforms that we do have?
For me, I think the social media because there's also what we call like maybe soft porn, and there's the hard one. So
soft porn. Soft porn. Yeah. How do you categorize these two?
Soft porn is where no sexual organs is being shown. So usually most movies are soft porn, and soft porn could go as far as just even music videos, because it's just soft porn is suggestive. Yes.
So from your point of view, you're saying that is still porn when
it is, yes. There are so many soft porn like music videos. For me, according to me, exercise videos. Remember, there's this old DVD of like exercise videos. You're gonna do 1, 2, 3. You're gonna thrust the hips in.
But I said, don't you think that sometimes, yes, it might be, trying to impose certain things, but don't you think that's the fault of the viewer itself?
The viewer. Okay. Yeah. This argument is what those people that do not dress properly to church they say, I just wore this dress to church. It's your mind. You it's the man. It's all about their mind. It's not about how the lady dresses. No. Everything contributes to lust. Everything. Yeah. So you can't say no. The viewer, the person watching, must go fix their mind. The human mind is imaginary. It likes pictures.
Is it necessarily mostly the human mind or the male mind?
Just that the females, they pretend. But I think everyone they would never react. Us guys, we are very. I don't want to use the word easy. But we can't keep things. Women, because they have a womb, they're incubators, so they can keep things. Your wife can like your best friend, but you will never know. You only find out when, like, if you are paying attention, when your friend comes to the house and she has to dish for you and him. You find out his meat is bigger than yours.
What are you referring to? What are you referring to?
Meat of eating or meat?
The meat on the plate.
Back to the racism question yet again, sir. Which one do you think, like in terms of like social media platforms? Also, you guys, you can also drop it down on the comment section and tell us which one do you think and why do you think is the one. Which one do you think is the one that is
I think
most prominent?
It's Instagram for me.
Yeah.
I've gone to my explore page and seen things that I'm not supposed to see. Because sometimes when you follow a friend, let's say I follow Duncan, right? And Duncan likes people wearing bikinis or something. Yeah. So because I follow Duncan is my friend, my explore page will suggest such sometime. So I think Instagram is the one because Instagram builds up this unrealistic expectation. I remember when BBL started going crazy. The main influence of BBLs was Instagram, because girls will see other girls looking good on Instagram and want to be like that. Even the doctors that do it, they advertise now heavily on Instagram. For me, it's Instagram. TikTok is cool because TikTok has everything. There's spiritual TikTok, there's football TikTok. Yeah. But
I think also you can refer to the algorithm itself, right? Now the algorithms of both entities or both companies. If you look at how the algorithm for Instagram, because when Instagram was created, firstly, it was just to expose and show your lifestyle and how you are as a person right now. And TikTok is mostly on the verge of trying, in how it's designed in itself. It's designed to make subjects or things trend, right? That's why you find that there are trending videos and all those different things. But I think sometimes we complain and we say that Instagram or TikTok is a problem. But what about because you create your own algorithm, right? In terms of the things that you take too long watching, so some of the things that you never skip, you're watching over and over again. So can we go to an extent of saying that these social media platforms are the ones that are the problem, but aren't we the ones doing? Because, for example, there was even a time for me that I was watching, like using I love watching YouTube. That's the one that I'm for. Yeah, Instagram and all these other ones, I'm not in those platforms. So in YouTube, there was a time where my page right now was a little bit explicit, and then I had to change that by watching more of the sermons, watching more of these other videos, and I gained a little bit of control to the algorithm. So is it more of a complaint on the system itself or the social media platforms itself, or is it more of a complaint of what you tend to watch more? What do you think, sir?
Personally, I think
Yeah.
All social media, it has everything that you are looking for.
Yeah.
Every single thing that you as an individual are looking for, you'll find in most social media. Be it also internet and other interactive platforms. Just like you are saying, I love the aspect of you saying that. So now, with it having everything that, because social media is just for entertainment, to entertain you. Whether you are for spirituality, football, for sexuality and other things, you will find it there. You understand?
Yeah.
So mainly, for instance, it's more, I would say it's 70% also 75% of your choice that you take in terms of what is it that you are looking for.
Hi.
For instance, when you are logging in for TikTok, first time opening an account, they ask you, what are your, in terms of the thing that you'll be searching for?
Yeah,
I forgot what the term that I could use in terms of you
select
your interest. Yes, your interest. You select there. So from that selection, definitely already you are, I would say, predicting in terms of what will appear. You understand? So I would say, firstly, it depends on your mindset. It all goes back to the mind. What is it that you are interested in? And what you are interested in is going to appear. 75%. Other appearance, they will just like Mr. Collins said, they will just suggest those kind of things to you. And what do you do with the suggestion? Do you take it upon or because they are appealing?
Yeah.
And they are really, really appealing and attractive. So sometimes they will definitely watch it in it. That's how also I got to engage on all of these kind of things.
Okay, but you never answered Brother Shane and Brother Duncan. What social media platform do you think is very suggestive?
For me, just like you stated, it's Instagram because of how Instagram is designed and how it functions. It's more of trying to hyper every single thing right now. So what is being exposed, because Instagram is more showing people's lives right now, lifestyles. It's more kind of like a platform where I can go and expose the unrealistic and not necessarily achievable things right now. It can be my cars, if I do have any, or just trying to portray myself as being this person that I'm not. And what it also does with its algorithm, from my understanding, from what we have learned in particular to algorithms, is that it overinflates the images and the videos that are usually appealing. So it has something that we call a traffic, which checks those things and verifies how attractable and how visually appealing or anything that that mentally it can be, and then it starts displaying more and more and more of it. That's why you find that you're even if you don't like watching those kind of things, they are more like suggested to you on a constant basis. So that's the thing that for me, I feel like Instagram is one of the big problems. So from your side, which one do you think is the
for
platform
me,
for that?
although it's Instagram, because of now, in terms of just like you're saying, it's showing off. And where there is showing off, many individuals want to participate in.
Yeah.
You understand? From my side, I would say it's Twitter and Instagram. Sorry, Twitter and TikTok. You understand? Because TikTok now is very, very influential. Just like, for instance, honestly speaking, we are visual. I don't know about females. Females, I would say they are visual to some certain extent.
Yeah.
But the men, we are fully visual. We like to see. You understand? And as much as you want to see, so they saw that since you want to see, that is what you are going to get. I just like what this other man of God once said, something very nice. He said that because of men are visual, sometimes when you're looking at the lead, even though the face is not the one, you understand? Even though the face is not the one, but because of the body is the one. So you can follow a certain girl, and because although you see the package in the clothes and everything, but what you want, what is inside the clothes? So because of your visual, so what you get, you are not satisfied with it. So and what you see is what you want to touch. You understand? So men are visual per se. Hence, sometimes now the high rate in terms of sexuality and in terms of even porn. That there was this other man of God. They once do their study, and they found out that during hotels that are like high ranking and everything, most people who download more pornography, it's men of God. People who goes to minister, the moment they go to minister, when they go back to that particular residence or where they were sleeping hotels, they download and they watch porn. Truthfully speaking, because of now men, especially ministers, the moment you rise, understand, that thing also you attract, there's attraction, understand.
What thing the moment you rise, what thing?
Okay, when you rise, let me just say not men of God per se, but when you rise in terms of public figure, when you rise in terms of you being public, when you rise in terms of you being a public speaker and those kind of things, you are more prone to attract. You understand? Hence now, for instance, some people might say, me, I'm not into these girls and other things. Sometimes, because you might say so because opportunity has not been granted. Some people, their biggest enemy or to pornography or to sexualizing or humanizing, it was the moment they had a car, they had a house, they had money. Some people, they were not like that before they worked. Immediately that the moment they worked, it's like it was just access card unto them.
So in terms of all of these things, do you think that the interest that men have, not men, when I say men, I'm talking about both genders, that people in general have towards pornography, is it more of a heart problem or a mind problem? Because I heard you stating mostly about the mind. Do you think it's mostly a mind problem or a heart problem?
Battlefield of the mind. Battlefield of the mind. Hence now, including the heart and the soul. They say the eyes, the ears are the windows to your soul. So what you see, what you hear, it influences your soul. You can also add it in terms of influences your heart. So out of the heart, that's when now everything flows. So what enters here also, it's up to you whether you meditate upon it or not. So it can also affect your heart. That's why even Proverbs chapter 4, verse 26, verse 23 says, guard your heart above all things. Everything that is there, you can guard it. But this one, you guard it because the moment you don't guard it, because out of their heart flows the issues of life.
Yeah, because even for myself, I believe it's not mostly the mind that is the problem. I feel like the mind is just manifesting what the problem is. It's exposing what the problem is. I feel like it's more of the problem of the heart. One of the stories that you were sharing is that when ministers start now to grow, right? It's like when you're given when you can't say that you're strong when you've not been in a situation that has needed you to be strong. Anybody can say that, yeah, I can do this. It's the very same thing when you're watching football. I've seen it many times. I've seen Bampe missing a penalty and I'm like, if it was me, I would have scored there. It's a different ball game when you get into the ground itself. True. You know, because that's when you see that do you have the capability or the ability to do so. It's the very same way that I can say that I love God. I'm committed to the mission that He has given me. I'm committed to loving Him. But your love is tested mostly when you are put into those high positions.
Yeah, true.
When you're ministering to people, when you're doing all these different things, that's where it's really tested. How is your relationship with God? Have you really founded your heart towards God? Because if there's a gap, Satan is going to try to find other things that are going to do what? To fill that gap.
Very true.
So one of the things that I think they do fill that gap is usually, sexual activities. Because that is easily for men to be prone to. It's an easy access. It's something that, your eyes are privy to, your ears are privy to, sometimes even to an extent that even your noses are privy to in terms of smell.
True.
So I feel like...
Wait. What? Can you go deeper on that one?
The smell.
No, the smell.
The smell. Brad Duncan, you look like
I'm in agreement with
you have
him, but let me explain.
When I'm referring to smell, what I'm particularly speaking of, you see things such as perfumes, right?
What?
They bring up a perfume.
Okay.
Yeah, because the reasons for us, for example, the reasons we are having all these different kind of things, I believe, right now, this is a personal opinion. The reason why we are having all these different things, a cologne and a perfume, is for attraction in its basis, right? If you're saying you want to smell, what's the reason why you want to smell nice?
What?
What is the reason, the main reason why you want to smell nice? Do you want to smell nice because you love smelling nice, or there's an objective outside yourself?
Me, I'm not into smells. I'm not into.
You know, just in that question.
Yeah.
In our live audience, I think we have the man who sells colognes.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
I believe that you can touch on that aspect in terms of what is the fundamental reason for.
Why do
smelling
people
nice?
want to smell nice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do people want to smell
Yeah,
nice?
Mr. Anonymous. We don't want to mention his name.
Yes.
No, we wanna smell nice so that we can smell nice. It's simple like that, man of God. But obvious. Also, okay, initially, also for attraction, so that you can smell nice. And people, they always compliment me, you know. It's nice to be complimented when it comes to smelling nice.
So it boosts up your ego in such a way that you feel like, yeah, I am proper, I'm smelling good and all that stuff.
Yeah, and when it comes to the aspect of smelling nice also, there'll be a situation whereby there'll be a girl, for example,
Yeah.
at the mall. Mahaba, are you at the mall? No, but I smell your perfume here. yeah, something of that nature.
So that girl knows you.
That girl knows
We don't know where you guys met, but that girl knows you.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like it's not an example. It's not an example. It is what actually happened.
Yes. I'm saying
It happens. Not once, not twice, not thrice. Recurringly.
It's been busy.
Recurringly.
So that goes back to the point that I was trying to make, that that smell, if you're associating a certain smell with a certain person, and you're associating the person with a certain activity, that also brings up memories and brings up other things that can lead you to, in conclusion, to being to thinking about those things. So I feel like if you as a person, or as a minister, or generally as a human being inside, if you try to fill that gap, because I feel like pornography comes in because, or any other sin comes in because there's a gap in your heart that you've opened.
Yes.
So if you yourself, you try to fill that gap with more of Christ, of more of the love that you're supposed to dedicate towards your deity, which is Christ, right now. If you try to do that and implement that, that is one of the strategies that, in conclusion, can lead you to what? To fighting, the addiction or the
Yes.
willingness to wanting to.
And also, if I should add, apart from the spiritual side, sometimes people that watch pornography are people that they don't have things to do. Like usually, you if you check the stats, there's if you are a billionaire, you work in Wall Street, and you are busy making money, you wouldn't have time to watch pornography. People that watch pornography are poor people, man, like students. No offense to anyone, I'm telling you, like, it's poor people, like people that, and also people that, if you check, how many rich men have you seen with a lot of kids? People with also a lot of kids are poor people. Like, you see a shack, no offense to anyone, a shack, someone living in a shack with 5 kids. Like, you don't have, if you have something to do, you are not gonna waste your time in, because when it comes to the ranking of energies, or they call it vibration, worldly people, things of sex and porn and what do they call that thing? Masturbation and the funny, all these things are low vibration. They are the lowest, like they are the lowest of the lowest for people that don't have things to do. Let me say, if you have a life where you are busy early in the morning, you go to the gym, you go to work, after work you go to this, you have another meeting. By the time you are back, you are tired. Like, you are so tired your hands can't even press W. But if you have all the time in the world, aye man, you even look for new categories and new whatever.
Do you think also the reason why these people who are rich, yes, there are some people who are rich that also have a lot of children, just examples Nick Cannon.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Do you think also one of the reasons why they don't indulge a lot in pornography is because they have options to do something better than that? We can say better or something rather than that. Because those people that are watching, they have the access to be able to be with people of that.
Oh
that
yes,
sort.
yes, and also I just wanted to add something. You're right.
Yeah.
The temptation, like, just to add to what you say, our temptation increases the higher we go.
Yeah.
So maybe someone's temptation. Oh yeah, you're right. It's possible that those people are into some weird stuff. But honestly, I believe that if you are really, really busy, you wouldn't have time for so many things.
Yeah, because also to add on to that point, they're into weird things. We had an occurrence of also the puff daddy thing that is also going on right now. Accusations that these people who are celebrities as such, they are having parties where they're doing homosexual acts, abusive stuff, sexual assault, all these different things. The reason why you find that they will not be prone too much to that is because they have access to something that is higher in terms of that is you want to see something, sir?
Yes, I just wanna agree with Mr. Collins when he says most of people that don't much in pornography or self-catering, that's masturbation.
Self-catering.
So let me share my experience. I think on grade 10, there was this teacher that was boring. She was a lady, she was very beautiful in the nice body. She was boring. During her periods, I was not focusing in class. So I was looking at her boys at that time. I was doing much in self-catering. So the problem that I had now is that I was no longer watching pornography. Instead, when I was doing self-catering, I was using her. It was very deep that time. It was very, very deep. So it affected me a lot during that time. So yeah.
So basically what you were doing is that you would start imagining her and undressing her as such.
Yes,
Oh.
because during her classes she was boring, so I was not busy. Instead I was thinking, hey, but this teacher she's very, her body is super fantastic. So yeah.
So were you doing it even in class? Like your mind, was it processing every single thing during in class or
During in class, to see when I get to my room, I'm gonna do it. Because I was not doing anything. Hence I agree with Mr. Collins that sometimes it is because you are not doing anything.
Yeah, I would agree with him, honestly speaking, because one thing that I know, these things, they take steps. And you don't automatically find yourself in just doing masturbation.
Yeah.
No. You find yourself, there are triggers to that. There are triggers to that. There was this other guy from Rest that we used to stay at. This guy, when he was there, he would say he would watch, like it was a normal, it was very, very addictive. He would watch SABC, maybe when who was that? Let me not mention names. The person who was, that female gender who used to speak more soccer, after soccer, I forget. Who's that one? She's famous. Who used to speak more soccer. Yeah, that one. So he said he would watch. Yes, he will watch Minute Lamin. The woman just speaking. When he goes to his room, he'll be busy. Meditating upon her. So what he says, what he does, he thinks about him watching the TV Minute Lamin. He's not listening to what Minute Lamin is saying. So he's thinking everything. So at the moment he's in his room, he says he closes his eyes. Then he's thinking about Minute Lamin. When he's thinking, he's applying his emotions. Then automatically he gets aroused. Then he starts doing the thing. So sometimes what actually happens is that you, as an individual, you meditate upon. You need a trigger, something that will assist you to do that particular thing.
Okay, yeah. Speaking about triggers, this is a very interesting topic because now we've moved out from social media.
Yeah.
Social media, we talked about as one of the triggers, but now we have triggers now that can occur anywhere. It can occur now, you say on SABC, it can occur in the street, in ShopRite, anywhere, even in church. Is it possible that you could get triggered in church? Like,
with me in church, not necessarily in church, but in church. You know what happened? I used to organize transportation even back home.
Yeah.
So you see that in that we are using one taxi to go home, and we are 22, and we have to use one taxi. So now it's a youth service. After youth service, this lady they come in a taxi, so we are full. So us guys, we have to balance the sisters. So they had to sit on top.
What?
So there are those ones that sometimes they are dressing somewhere. So they would sit here. And that time you will remain quiet. But deep inside, there's something that is happening. Your mind is going. And they are not alive to you. So how you view the girl now is going to be different. And it was a weird situation. It was the girl that I was crushing. Now she came to sit on top of me.
Just so you know, I think she knows what she's doing. So it's not all on you. It's fine. It
really, really did something to me. Now how I viewed her, it became different. So I believe also in church is happening. Also in many, I've shared stories in terms of the sisters in church, what they are doing. Even the brothers, what they are doing to sisters.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah, so also goes back to the point that we spoke about, the first question that we asked, that the role that social media plays. I feel like social media, yes, it does play a role, but it's not necessarily the problem that has to do with social media, but you know, yes, you are the problem. Because if, for example, the story that he just shared, it had nothing to do with the teacher themselves, it had nothing to do with anything, but it was his mind that was busy undressing the person, and then, you know, taking that to be able to do other things, such as said, self-catering. So I feel like as much as we can speak about many other things and we say this is the problem, this is a trigger, this is that, yes, firstly we need to into solutions on that. We need to be able to say we are doing what, we are avoiding them, right? We are avoiding these triggers. So we're not saying you should avoid Instagram, we're not saying you should avoid WhatsApp, we're not saying you should avoid any of the ones that you mentioned, Twitter and all those things. Yes, those are platforms that are very much helpful. There are platforms that are used for entertainment. There are platforms that are used also for communication. They're very important. But if you know yourself that when I'm using this platform, because of what I like, if I see this particular person, or I see these particular videos, if I see this particular trend like the one that's going on of Tyler right now on TikTok and also YouTube and all those different platforms, if I see that one, I know it's going to strike up something in me. Definitely. The best thing that you can do for yourself, not for anyone, for yourself, is to do what? Is to avoid it. You know, I think that's the best solution that you can try and do. Avoid it. Do not entertain it, because you know yourself. If you entertain it, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Speaking of the Tyler trend, I've watched it a lot, man. I like that. Like the song still plays in my head. It's like dun 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 dun. Yeah, if you know, you know. Just comment below if you know the trend we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, just to add on him, honestly speaking, as much as there are physical solutions to pornography and masturbation, there are also spiritual ones. And I personally, it was the aspect of pornography and how I was saved and helped. This person, the first thing, the people who are addicted to that, the first physical, practical solution, it is that the first thing, you need to admit that you have a problem.
Yeah.
You have a problem of pornography, you have the problem of masturbation. When you admit, goes back to what you're saying, know yourself. After admitting, you seek help. Get a support group, or get your brother or sister that you can talk to. That this is my problem. I'm going through this. Can you help me? Yeah. The problem is that we want to appear that kind. Some people will say, me, I'll confess only to God. Because they know that if I confess to this particular Mr. Batata, they will hold me accountable. So instead of confessing to Mr. Batata, let me confess only to God. It's good to confess to God, but confess your sins to one another. This person, my leader, once said something to me. He said, do you know, let me give you 3 reasons why you must not watch pornography. The first thing that he said, do you know what you are actually doing at the expense of you satisfying yourself, at the expense of you being joyful and having that gratification? Someone else is crying that side. So there is exchange of sorrow in that particular dynamic, because most of the people that are in pornography, most of them is not that they entered there because of they like that, but because of what? Poverty. Others were sold for that, for slavery, so they had to get in there. So there are other people actually, so meaning that when you get joy in other people's suffering, that's what you are meaning. Second thing, the one that you need to know when you are watching pornography is that there is those people, that guy, that lady, that boy, they have a father and they have a mother out there, which are daily crying because of their children are doing this. So you are enjoying watching this. Meanwhile, the other people are the parents of those children, they are suffering. And the last thing that he said is that, which also is the highlight of this. He said that, do you know that what you are actually saying, you are planting a seed. That means what you are saying, when you have children, you want other people to do this to your daughter and your child. Then I said, no, I don't want this. I said, why then would you want to watch other people doing that to the other people's parents, other people's children? So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, these things, they build up experience and other stuff and everything, but the solution to overall, you need to admit that you have a problem and seek counseling. It either be physical counseling and also spiritual counseling, because sometimes you may think that it's just a thing of the mind, but you may find out that there are spirits that are involved regarding that. So speak out, reach out, have someone who's going to hold you accountable for what you are actually doing. Understand? Because the moment you don't, where there is no accountability, you will stop for a week, you will go back to it again. And again, set boundaries for yourself. Set boundaries. When you know this, for me, there was a certain time I had to pause Facebook for a while because I knew it was influencing that. You understand? And then again, free time. If you have more free time, then you are giving Satan the platform to do whatever you want to do.
Okay. So guys, that's basically right about it. So he mentioned, critical matters such as one of the things that he mentioned that I because I also went through a certain stage, because one of the things that I realized about pornography itself is that in terms of it being an addiction, if you try and run away from it, right, and all you do is just avoid certain triggers, when those triggers hit back at you, you go back to the same thing yet again, right? I found myself, I remember it was around grade 10, grade 11, around there. There was a time where I started reading this book of 21 days to start a habit and stop a habit. Those ones, I read them and I started following it. For me, it was more like I was running away from it itself. And then after those days, it took me around 3 months. 3 months after those 3 months, I was back at it again. And it was like a constant theme and a constant thing that will happen, that I will stop for a certain while and then find myself in the same place yet again. So what I can advise the viewer, if you're going through the very same thing, as much as you can, have limitations and all those different things, man, there's a point where you get to where it's like you are running away. You're not solving the situation or solving the matter itself. Go to the root of why you are doing a certain thing, right? Why are you watching it? What's the first thing that triggered you to watch it? Is it because of peer pressure? Did you start it because of peer pressure? Is it because of something more than that? Is it because you feel lonely? Is it because of that? Is it because of that? And then when you've figured out what the root cause for your own problem, because each and every single person is different. That's why also one of the advices is counseling. Go to a person that understands this. If you have an opportunity to speak to someone that you can trust, either being a spiritual leader, either being a parent or brother, or even a friend that is well versed in these conversations, try to do that and have that conversation and say, hey man, I'm doing this, and be honest. Not only being honest to the person that you're talking to, but be honest to yourself. Because the biggest lie or the biggest critic, the person that can lie the most to yourself is yourself. So be very careful of you trying to think and look at yourself at a higher value than you are. Right? Look at yourself justly and be your toughest critic on that matter.
Yeah, for me also, one thing I would add, based on experience, right?
Yeah.
These 7 steps, 12 steps, 21 steps, they don't work for everyone.
They don't.
There's no 10 steps to success. Like those books, if those things are working, those books are bestsellers, which means it has been read by billions of people. There would have been a billion, 2 billion billionaires right now.
Yes.
So those things do not work for everyone. And God, every individual is different. If you ask a parent will tell you, I have 3 children and all 3 of my children are different. So are we as children of God. We are different. So God fixes us in different ways. There are people that are addicted to a lot of stuff like smoking and what. If you hear the story of how they quit, it's always a journey. It's always different. Sometimes God saves you by you feeling remorse and disgusted. Sometimes God can save you by you just losing appetite and interest completely of something. Sometimes God saves you by consuming less and less and less and less until it finally stops. Then there are those that God delivers just once off. It's just a spiritual encounter and it's there. So that is why we need to rely on God to deliver us. These books, they don't work. I'm not biased against books, but you would read all the books you want. If it's only God that based on the way He designed you, knows how to free you from that. So that's my 2 cents also.
Yeah, and also in conclusion, right, now just to wrap every single thing up, it's very simple to start a journey. For example, a marathon, it's very simple to start for you to start the marathon. But the most difficult thing about that is you staying in the marathon and continuing. So when you start the process, whatever the journey is that you're starting in terms of you getting to a point where you are done with pornography, you're done with masturbation or any of these sexual, afflictions that you are having yourself. When it gets difficult, do not stop and say, I'm going back to the very same process. It's a journey, it's a marathon. It will get difficult along the way. What you need to do is just to keep going, keep pushing, and that at the end of the day, you get to a point where you get to the finish line and you can look back and say, hey man, yeah, I went through it a lot, I went through this, I went through that, and you'll have a testimony to share to your brothers, you'll have a testimony to share to people around you, and you'll be a beacon of hope from what you've achieved. So all in all, guys, share your stories on the comment section, share how you went through what you went through or what you're going through. If you need any assistance, please share it on them. And if there's anything that we said that you feel like you have a comment on or a say on it, do not be scared to mention it. And guys, yeah, stay blessed. Peace.
Shalom.